one day only. So he developed a fever typhoid in afternoon with severe generalized body ache and severe generalized weakness. He had a 2 to 3 episode of fever as the day progresses, and he was going to see staffs. So he directly went and get admitted to our hospital in the night around 10 to 11 p.m. because he was not able to.
October, November month.
October.
October.
October 16th October. So he directly got admitted to our hospital. No nausea, no vomiting, no abdominal pain on initial presentation. On examination, he was conscious oriented, no any focal signs, no any petechiae, rashes, or no any bleeding from any side in initial examination. Vitals on admission was temperature was 102.2 Fahrenheit, pulse was 110 per minute, blood pressure was 110 by 60 millimeter of mercury. RS and CBS examination was normal. Saturation was also 99 at 2. So he basically we have a pyrexia. So it was the October season. So we have sent all the tropical fever routine investigation for our patient. So hemoglobin was 12.2, total count was 4080, platelets was 2 lakh 10. Creatinine was normal, SGPT SGO2 was normal, CRP was 6.5. Malarial parasite by smear was not detected, and dengue NS1 was positive by kit in night only. So we have a kit emergency, so we have sent a kit, and NS1 was positive by kit in night only, and in the morning we have sent a dengue by ELISA, and it was strongly positive NS1 antigen. So we are having a simple case of dengue fever without any warning signs and with only first day of illness. So we have treated according to the guideline like intravenous fluid, intravenous antacids, antibiotics as and when required, folic acid and other supportive gas. Patient remained febrile because he presented to us very early on the very first day of illness. So he remained febrile for 3 to 4 days. And it was very difficult for us to explain him that the fever will come up to 3 to 4 days and then
dengue में तो 5-7 दिवस fever था. 5 to 7 days. Those who are seeing the patient on very first day, I have seen fever up to 8 days.
Yes.
High grade fever up to 8 days in case of dengue.
And the patient became febrile around 5th day of illness. During all the 4 to 5 days, all the extremities were warm, perfusion was good, in output was adequate, blood pressure was normal, pulse pressure we were monitoring, it was also acceptable range, and hemodynamics was also stable. So, blood investigation was also accepted. When patient comes to us in a very first day, their platelets are usually normal, and once the fever subsides, once first or second days platelets start to drop, and relatives ask many questions that we have came with normal platelets and it is decreasing. What are you doing since 5 days? What are you doing since 6 days? So these are the common questions if patient comes
if
very
they
early.
told the same thing on the first day, he will not ask this.
Yes.
You should have told him that you are supposed to face.
There are 3 stages of dengue. When patient comes to me, I say there are 3 stages of dengue. One is febrile stage, second is critical stage, and third is recovery. And minimum 10 to 14 days illness will start. And if the liver involvement will occur, that will persist for 1 month. On very first day, critical critical illness, platelet can reduce.
So we also explain
तो मालूम तो recap पे इधर नहीं फिर
fever dengue નો fever છે ને 5 દિવસ પત્યા છે
बस आटલું છે
ક્લાસિકલ છે.
ઓકે ગુડ
So initially
તકલીફ એ છે કે એમની પાસે પહેલા દિવસે આવે.
So when patient comes to us on a 7th or 8th day and platelet is 20,000, it is very easy to us for explain. When it comes on a very first day and fever persists for 4 to 5 days and then platelets start dropping on 7th day, 6th day, then relatives ask question why it is not improving, what drug is working or not. There are typical questions from these patients also that you are giving drugs, it is working or not.
એના માટે પણ સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ જ જવાબ છે There is no treatment for dengue.
Yeah.
Only supportive treatment and treatment for complication.
Complication. Yes.
એટલે very first day કારણ કે અમારે ત્યાં તો પહેલે જ દિવસે જ આવે ને
Yes.
એટલે very first day આ જ દવા
Yes.
કોઈ સ્પેસિફિક ટ્રીટમેન્ટ છે જ નહીં 10 થી 14 દિવસ કે ને કાઢવા પડશે 10 થી 14 દિવસ પછી પેશન્ટ તમારો સારું થશે.
So what is most important biochemistry you have not written here?
Hematocrit.
IPF value.
Hematocrit must be there.
Can we monitor that?
IPF you are monitoring regularly.
So if you have seen from your day 1 onwards hemoglobin is increased, right? So MCV has to be there. Because what percentage change is there, you need to decide hydration on that.
That is the most, rather out of all these, most important investigation is HC, hematocrit value.
So nowadays ferritin is very much popular after COVID in each and every disease. So we have that patient came to us in night, so we have sent CBC on very night on first day, doesn't repeat it on second day, then repeated on third day. So ferritin was 379.3 on the very third. Over period of time, day 6th of illness, he has 2 episodes of vomiting with decreased appetite, which was subsided. We can also see that on the 5th or 6th day, there is a drastically increase in liver enzyme also.
So
That
till
made-
6 days he was eating properly,
Yeah.
completely. There was
He
no
was
symptom
eating
at all.
properly, no symptoms. He was taking at least 3 to 3 liter oral intake, and we are giving at least 100 ml per hour or 120 ml per hour intravenous fluid. And having a good urine output. No any respiratory insufficiency at present during that course of illness. We were monitoring IPF. It was almost 0.5 to up till day 6. So IPF we were monitoring for usually what happened when I was in MD student, when WBC was increasing in the next day or any next to next day,
Here
it
on
starts
day
increasing.
5 it was the lowest
Yes.
WBC count.
So here day 5 was the lowest WBC count. So day 6 also WBC increased, day 7 also 6 PM also WBC increased, and day 7 also WBC increased. We were not expecting that much of fast recovery of platelet in this type of patient. Nowadays, some atypical virus are behaving atypical in some manner. So patient became afebrile, remained afebrile for 2 days, and all parameters are increased. But he has new onset of fever after 7th day. And this during all the course of illness, we are monitoring. There is no any potential rashes or rashes on the extremities or a limb or a abdominal area. There was blanching that we usually do a tracing, and it comes a arithmetic blanching that was present, but no any spots were present. So when there was a new onset of high grade fever came, there is a new rashes on bilateral lower limb also, and there is a new rashes on abdominal area also. So what happens in dengue, most of our encounter, when the new fever comes on a 6 or 7 days, it mostly contributory to our thrombophlebitis. Intravenous lines are from 3 to 4 days, and we examine that it is erythematous or there is a signs of local inflammation. Most of the time it is true, it comes positive, and we treat as a thrombophlebitis.
By 7 days, how many intracates were changed?
Only 2.
Only 2. So there was no signs in any of the.
So there was no signs of
So
thrombophlebitis.
which important test is missing in this particular slide? By this time, your SGPTs has started increasing, your CRP is increasing, your platelets has reduced. What is the PT and FTP, right? D-dimer.
PTI we were doing, it was 15.03 and 1.2, 1.3 was acceptable.
Even on day 7.
Then no signs of thrombophlebitis. We have sent new sets of blood cultures, urine cultures were also sent. Procalcitone is also newer and fancy investigation we have sent. It was in negative. CRP was initially it was 6, and it is directly jumped to 122. And this was repeated complete blood count. Hemoglobin was 13.6. Total count was stabilized 500,000. Neutrophil was 56, lymphocyte 36, and monocyte were 2 or 3, that came up to 7. In platelet, he started recovery. It was 32,000. It improved to 42,000.
Originally NS1 was positive, right?
NS1 positive. So patient had a persistent high-grade fever on a 2 subsequent days.
You want to check PCT?
To 0.5, less than 0.5, negative. So patient has a persistent high-grade fever on 2 subsequent days. Blood and urine culture we have sent, which was also clean negative. We have repeated again during routine micro, which was 0 to 1 per cells. USG was also suggestive of mild hepatomegaly. Initially, USG was done, it was only suggestive of mild hepatomegaly and peripolycystic gallbladder edema. We have again repeated USG, which suggests of mild hepatomegaly, mild splenomegaly, and mild bilateral dual effusion. Patient started coughing during sleeping time, and now patient has a improved platelet, WBC also stabilized, and liver enzyme was also elevated.
What is this malaria status? Malaria
Malaria
negative.
by smear. We are daily doing CBC by smear. Still patient has a 1 to 2 episode of high-grade fever, and we were giving round the clock antibiotic to this patient. Even cold sponging we have started. So on a day 8 or
liver enzyme कितने सुधी गए?
7.
8 among 6 there. પછી
on 8th day, 7th to 8th day, it was started reducing. Day 7, it was started reducing.
high 40.
So we have a dengue fever with the new onset of fever on a 7th or 8th day, which was persistent and which was very significant. It was 101, 102, sometimes 103 also. And when the patient's platelets are improving and fever comes, it is difficult to explain. So then again we have searched literature for fever, and we have encountered many cases of hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis as a rare
Have
and
you noticed any rise in serum ferritin?
so
It
it
must
was
be in the range of somewhere
24,000.
24,000.
24,000, 25,000.
That is the indicator. This type of situation.
So that's why we have done a baseline ferritin on the day third. So if it increases, so we can correlate. So we have
So
searched.
what are the antibiotics were given by the time?
On the very first day, we have not given any antibiotic. But when again it was new onset of fever came, we have started ciprofloxacin.
On which day?
Day 6 or 7. The new onset of fever.
What was the typhoid status?
Typhoid was also negative.
Which test?
We have sent blood cultures on this new onset of fever, and we have also done serum Vidal and IgG, IgM, that is typhoid.IgM, but it is not an indicator in first week or second week.
Blood culture typing didn't come.
No. So when I was studying my DNP during Apollo, and at that time we were dealing with hematology cases more and more. So at that time, one of the teacher told about HLH. So we have read about HLH and studied that it can be very notorious complication of dengue, and it can come positive in this type of patient. So there are multiple case reports of dengue fever with HLH syndrome. This is also dengue fever complicated by HLH. This is also a typical temperature chart as our patient. So in this patient also day 4 or day 5 temperature was stabilized, and again day 6 or day 7 there is again rise of fever. Here also in the second case day 5 patient was very febrile, and day 6 or day 7 again there is a new rise of fever spike. Here is also Indian Pediatric or Indian Association of Pediatric. They have also published a case series on dengue HLH. They have also published the 8 cases of dengue HLH during the outbreak of 2022. After most
Single center में होतो.
हाँ
8 पेशेंट सिंगल सेंटर में
हाँ
क्या ना?
Department of Pediatric Rheumatology, Kolkata.
In your case, which are the other universities apart from Khariti that are supportive of HRS?
So mostly this HLS is an acute and rapidly progressive systemic inflammatory disorder, which was initially classified in most of the pediatric population. So initial treatment and diagnosis and criteria was also identified according to the pediatric population, and that the management was also guided according to this pediatric population, because it was very severe in pediatric population. Usually it was happening due to the Epstein-Barr virus, secondary to Epstein-Barr virus, and it has a very high mortality. With chemotherapy also, there is survival of 3 years was 40-50% only. But we cannot extrapolate these results to adults also. So after the HLS protocol first was came in 94 by Histiocyte Society, and then again revised in 2004, and now they have recommendation.
So it was for primary HLS or secondary?
No,
Both.
So initially it was targeted as a primary HLS, because and all the new guideline was formulated for the adults in 2019 by American Society of Fetal HLS. So HLS is primary and acquired. Primary is usually having a genetic defect in a PRF gene or a perforin gene, and it can possess irregulated or unregulated cytosolic T cell activation and macrophage activation, and it leads to a cytokine storm. And secondary HLS is usually, initially secondary HLS was most commonly seen in malignancy or autoimmune disease, and then Epstein-Barr viruses and other infections. It can happen in intracellular organisms like malaria or Babesia. Staphylococcus aureus sepsis can also cause secondary HLH. This is a basic pathophysiology of HLH. This is a mutation in primary HLH, and then pro-inflammatory cytokines in secondary HLH. There is a defects in perforin-mediated cell lysis, mediated cytotoxic T cells, overactivation of macrophages, hypersecretions of several cytokines, cytokine storms, and phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is a very typical finding. So we have to do a bone marrow for this patient, or we have to take a biopsy from a lymph node scar paper. Our patient was very much stable except fever. So we have not done a bone marrow biopsy in this patient. So bone marrow typically shows hemophagocytosis by histiocytosis in a typical manner. It also comes in a 50 to 60% patient only. So this is a primary HLS, and this is secondary HLS. Infection, malignancy, macrophage activation syndrome, and other classic causes. So diagnosis of HLH is mostly dependent on clinical and biochemical features. So we have to suspect that this patient can be a HLH. Then we can send a supportive investigation, and then we can say that this can be HLH. Fever, persistent fever is almost always present in almost all cases. Whatever case reports I have read, almost all the patients are having a persistent fever. Organomegaly, almost all patients are having. Ferritin more than 10,000 is demonstrated as 90% sensitive and 96% specific for a HLH in most of the case series. High value of soluble interleukin-2 receptor, or it is known as a soluble CD25. We have tried to search for this test, but it was not. We are not able to find. So we were not able to send. Hemophagocytosis in bone marrow biopsy. This is also typical features. I have one or two patients. Remember that this came positive in one or two patients. This is diagnostic criteria of HLS 2004. So HLS 2004 diagnostic criteria primarily really was introduced for children population, but in 2019 guideline they have incorporated this can be also extrapolated to adult population. So for diagnosis there is 5 out of 8 criteria should be there. So fever, organomegaly, cytopenias, hypertriglyceridemia and hypoparathyroidism. Trigonal less than 1.5. Hemophagocytosis in bone marrow or spleen, low or no natural killer cell activity, and soluble CD25. So out of these 8 least 4 or 5 features were there. We were not able to do bone marrow biopsy in this patient. And there is another score which was specifically developed for adults. It is HS score. HS score having a clinical and laboratory parameters like temperature, organomegaly, cytopenia, ferritin, triglyceride, tryptanogen, SGPT, SOT, and hemophagocytosis. So this HS score is easily available in our mobile in a medic calculator. So we have incorporated data of our patient in this HS score. It was came as a 224 points and 96 to 98% probability of hemophagocytosis in our patient. So we were almost convinced that this can be a hemophagocytosis. So serum ferritin was 24,900. Serum triglyceride was 265. To look out for any hemolysis, we have sent peripheral smear. It was normal. Fibrinogen was normal. It was around 240. PT-INR was 16. PT was P16 and INR was 1.2. Fibrinogen was normal. So ideal treatment for HLH is very devastating as a form of chemotherapy. What first treatment was rolled out for HLH? It is almost a chemotherapy. It lasts up to 40 weeks. But it was possible. It was usually produced for a children population and a primary malignancy. But we have many case reports found that in dengue or another viral related HLH, patient might not require that much of severity of chemotherapy or that much severe duration, that much long duration of chemotherapy. So in this was a 2019 guideline. So our patient falls into secondary HLH, possibly due to infection associated HLH. So infection associated HLH, we can give a corticosteroid in high dose or a plus or minus IVIG as a rescue therapy. If patient does not improve on a corticosteroid or IVIG, and if patient having a neurological symptom, then we have to think of another chemotherapy in form of etoposide and methotrexate intrathecal. So this is the original chemotherapy regimen for HLH, which was developed in 94. The induction therapy, which was lasted for 8 weeks, and continuation therapy, which was lasted for 40 weeks. And continuation therapy we have to continue until we can do a stem cell transplantation. So stem cell transplantation was the final curable thing for these patients. So dexamethasone was given initially as a 10 mg per meter square for every week, 10 mg per meter square every week for 2 weeks, and then it was every twice a week, and same it was etoposide was given initially for every week, and then it was transfused to twice a week. As per our criteria, we have suspected that this patient can have a dengue associated hemophagocytosis. Pulse dose steroid was given. I am not much very fan of steroid in any of the illnesses. So if I have to write a steroid in a prescription, I have to become very cautious and I have to become very doubtful about myself. So we have also consulted a hematologist for this patient, and he also gave confidence to us that this can be HLH. So we have started a 1 gram methylprednisolone on first day, second day, and third day. Patient became afebrile on the within 24 hours, and after third day we have given oral prednisolone as a 1 mg per kg per day, and we have kept the treatment for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, patient usually doesn't come to us. So conclusion is
So during the course of that 11 days, apart from cephalosporin, any antibiotic step-up or change needed? Not at all, right? Good.
It's lucky that one of our patients during the era of corona, patient we have received on 10th day. At that time, serum ferritin was 64,000. And immediately on the second day, patient died also with multiple.
I tell you my story of Apollo. I was doing night duty. Patient was admitted post-COVID. There's only 1 liter oxygen. 24-year male. Patient was admitted in a room. Patient has a high grade fever. developed 103, 104 fever, patient developed 140, 150 heart attack. And that oxygen requirement suddenly went up from 1 liter to 2 liter to directly patient I have to put on biped. So when I studied this case and I found that this can be a HLH secondary to this COVID scenario. So I have sent ferritin and everything was one night only. Morning patient was on biped. Afternoon 2 p.m. we have intubated patient, and afternoon 6 p.m. there was a bleeding from each and every organ, from lung to kidney to hematuria to all the peripheries. We lost this patient.
So
I
it was
was
in
very-
DIC.
You are very lucky.
It was in DIC.
The DIC was secondary to this produced hyper inflammatory state. One of the complications is this persistent hyperinflammatory
So
state.
how will you
because of
differentiate a DIC from HLH?
For DIC is
All HLH will have DIC?
no, all HLH will not have.
So DIC
Usually-
is a different entity.
Usually any other say elevated marker which is serum ferritin is practically not elevated in this DIC.
DIC is also secondary to something.
Exactly. But if bleedings are going on like
Then
this
it is-
and the rapid deterioration is DIC.
DIC. So all the HLH will
If
have.
you have checked his fibrinogen, FTP, D-dimer, PTH,
Everything was-
there was a torrential rise in
Torrential.
4 to 6 hours.
So in that patient we have given Pataposide also, we have given dexamethasone also.
But
we-
probably if PT and FPTT was checked, probably that patient was in need of blood component rather than etoposide or anything else.
Then same we have another patient in our hospital also. It was also having same ferritin was 10,000, but there was no fever. So we were reluctant to give steroid. The patient came home. That is another story.
So there are 2-3 closely connected diseases like HUS, TTG, HUS, then DIC because of any reason including HLH and this HLH, right?
There is
But if your patient is progressing vitally, rapid downfall, always suspect DIC, no matter the primary, secondary cause, whatever. If DIC is there, this could have been saved.
So
It is a very tedious job to transfuse all the product and effectives and this, but still there is a chance.
I am not very fan of transfusing steroid in a 4th or 5th or 6th days when platelets are not improving.
એ તો બધા ઓફ લેવલ આપે છે મોટા ભાગના લોકો.
Like platelets are not improving on 7th day, then we can give a 40 milligram of NPS and suddenly 2nd or 3rd day platelets start.
પેશન્ટને પપૈયાનું ખેતર બનાવી દીધું હોય ત્યાં લગી તો પાંદડા ખવડાવી પડે.
So this was admitted in our Manjalpur unit. Dr. Puneet and me both combined have handled this case. It was admitted in ward only throughout the course, and we were lucky that after we were very confident on very 5th or 6th day this patient will come out, platelets, fever was subsided, now platelets will improving.
The course was classical of that.
But if you would have been looking after so many dengue patients from day one onwards, then you might not have come to this conclusion. Because so many predetermined ideas are there in your brain. Your brain was totally કોરી પાટી હતી ને એટલે આ લખવાનું બાકી અઘરું પડે. સમજો શું કીધું?
કારણ કે એમને જેમ કહ્યું કે કેટલા પેશન્ટોની અંદર 8 દિવસ સુધી ફીવર એટલે આ તમે ઘણો કોર્સ છે લકી.
12 days fever in, I have seen COVID patient 12 days fever up to 12 days.
એટલે
In COVID patient. And
we are
dengue,
ઓવર
I
કોન્ફિડન્સ
said 80% patient develops fever for 5 days, this is my status. 80% develops fever for 5 days,
Minimum.
20% of patient develops fever from 5 to 10.
What was the single most corroborative test that should